There is a meltdown among a certain faction of the Republicans, especially part of the MAGA, the far right, over President-elect Donald Trump's pick of Sriram Krishnan as the White House policy advisor on artificial intelligence. Now, this feud between longtime Trump MAGA loyalists and nativists with Indian Americans over Sriram's appointment is quite on. The disquiet which had set in with MAGA loyalists over the perceived influence on Trump of big tech led by Elon Musk has escalated with Krishnan as Trump's new pick. The opposition comes after Krishnan's previous suggestion to eliminate caps on green cards and support for H-1B visas for skilled immigrants resurfaced. Now, H-1B visas allow highly skilled foreign workers, especially from Bharat, to enter the United States. That Trump's loyal supporter Laura Loomer hit out at the US President-elect's choice and said, a career leftist in direct opposition to Trump's America First agenda. Our country was built by white Americans, actually not third world invaders from India. Now, it's not racist against Indians to want the original MAGA policies I voted for. I voted for a reduction in H-1B visas, not an extension. The support for Sriram Krishnan came from Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, and Musk has hit back at Sriram's critics on platform X, and I quote, it comes down to this: do you want America to win or do you want America to lose? If you force the world's best talent to play for the other side, America will lose. End of story. Vivek Ramaswamy also voiced his support, saying America first means we want America to win. Playing for second place doesn't cut it. Indian American Congressman Ro Khanna and Silicon Valley entrepreneur David Sachs have also hailed Sriram Krishnan. Joining us now, Puneet Ahluwalia, Republican political strategist with us, and Rajiv Malhotra ji, author of Snakes in the Ganga with us. My namaste. Thank you very, very much, and good early morning. And thank you for waking up a little early to join us here on the broadcast, Puneet ji and Rajiv ji. Puneet ji, my question to you. The first argument was the Mexicans are coming in and taking away the low-skilled jobs or the working class. Now the argument is Indian Americans will take away the American middle class and the jobs for them, whereas the numbers point the other way. So how does this argument now, will it be answered, especially among Trump loyalists?
Well, I'm a loyalist, and a very good morning to everyone. I believe this is just a little hoo-ha, but it'll all pass over. We Indian Americans are here to stay and a very important integral part of the American fabric, and most importantly in the Republican leadership now. And you've seen all the way from President Trump to other leaders who are supporting the Indian Americans, because it'll be the Senate which will confirm these appointments. And most importantly, President Trump sees these folks able, capable, based on their merit and their hard work and the education and dedication that he has chosen them. So I guess we will have always, from the fringe group, as you all say, some noise, some concerns, but I think we Indian Americans are a very important part of the success story, not only for the immigrants, but for the American dream.
Rajiv ji, your thoughts?
You know, there's like in India, there are many clusters of people and ideologies in every camp. Like you cannot say India is one camp versus another. There's so many camps. And so you must understand the complexity of America, like the India, and learn each moving part has its own chemistry and its own relationship that you have to cultivate. So neither the left, the Democrats are one group, nor the right wing, the Republicans are one group. So there is a group within the MAGA, which is the old Christian right. And they don't like, if this guy was a Christian, they would not feel the same way. You know, the Indian, like a Bobby Jindal type. There is that Bobby Jindal type people. And then there is this new, who are defining, the new Republicans, the Trump people, are more defined as anti-woke, anti the extreme left, rather than as some kind of a unifying idea of their own. So the ideology is what we don't like, which is the extreme left. I have shared that myself. And also how to be very pragmatic and make America great in a pragmatic sense. Now, in that pragmatic sense of American greatness, all these people, the Indians that have been brought in, are fantastic because they're pragmatic people. They're success stories. They are not about this religion, that religion. They're not brought in based on religion, nor are they kept out because of it. So Trump is a very pragmatic person. But then, he also has this in his own party. He's got a very thin majority in the Congress, very thin. So he also is kind of managing an internal coalition. If you think about it, we are used to external coalitions.
Ji.
Because we have so many parties and they can be very sharply defined ideologies. But within the US, because there are only two parties, the coalition is inside. You know, the Democrats have a democratic coalition where they have to manage all kind of people from this side to that side within that party. They don't break up. In America, they don't break up easily. And so the Republicans, now this is what Trump is doing. He is trying to replace the old guard, the old previous people who were, you know, the people in the previous era before Trump. They were the ones who were the Republicans, the GOP, and there were a lot of Christian right in it and all that, and racism. There's also racism in that, and there's white supremacy in that. But Trump is showing himself to be personally very much above all that. Look at the people he's appointed. I mean, he's got J.D. Vance. His wife is a very open Hindu, you know, Usha Vance. He's got Vivek Ramaswamy. He's got Kash Patel, head of the FBI. He's a Gujarati Hindu, no nonsense fellow. And then he's got the Tulsi Gabbard, who's a very open Hindu. She's been condemned as a one of those cultists because she worships Krishna. I did a 20-minute video
I saw that,
YouTube.
But if there is a shift
Twitter,
and he's creating somebody new, Puneet Ahluwalia, you disagree with what Rajiv Ji's overall surmises, that there is an old guard and you're trying to create a new team with a fresh perspective. But the contribution of Indian Americans, how will that be established? That they are here to create jobs and wealth. Now, we're putting out some of the data which very clearly shows that Indian Americans who have come in, especially after 2010 in the tech region, they've not only created revenue and value worth billions of dollars, they've also created thousands of jobs in the hotel business, in the retail business. There is huge amount of value creation that's happening.
Well, you see, I'll say very clearly, blaming the Christian right is incorrect. I work very closely with the Christian right, the Freedom Caucus. I'm very, very close to them. Whenever I need any issues or I need support, they've always come to support me. It's not about as I said earlier, there are fringe groups within the Republican Party or the Conservative Party. And please don't call them rightists, because these are people who are, I believe, strong patriots and the conscience of our nation. These folks are very clear on the certain fundamentals, which is fiscal responsibility, constitutional politics or constitutional way of running America, and more importantly, strong defense and fiscal responsibility. So this group is very, very focused on that. But at the same time, as I said earlier, there are people who have problems, and which are, as Rajiv said correctly, yes, there are in any political party fringe groups who will create a noise. But I believe the new party, which is the Conservative Party, and Trump mindset or Trump politics or Trump ideology is now meshing together. And it all depends how it moves forward, because the conservatives are also thinking, is Trumpism conservatism? That's the other issue that's also playing here. But I also believe the Indian Americans, not only for the merit-based, but I will tell you, I'm working with a strong, rich group of Indians, which are 500 million and above to $3 billion, who are inviting all successful American Republicans to an event before the inauguration. And the fact is, we are not only creating jobs, but we, as I said earlier, part of the American dream.
Yes.
And the American leadership has realized that. Let's not say that we just only to create jobs, we're here to do tech jobs. Folks, just like the Jewish community, which we started following many years ago or 20 years ago, and now we have become a role model community itself. So hence the reason there's a lot of responsibility on the Indian Americans. I just want to get away from this religious politics about branding ourselves. I think what we have to say is that we as Indian Americans have done exceptionally well. And if you see, all the Indians who are being appointed by President Trump have come from different parts of India.
Yes.
They may have one strong faith in them, but the important faith is the Americanism. That's what we all embody. And let's focus on that. And that's what we have to recognize, that not only the American leadership, but President Trump and the other leadership in the Republican Party and the Democratic Party recognize that.
Somewhere the aspect of not just being proud of our roots where we come from, but the aspect of wherever we go, Rajivji, we embrace that nation and create wealth. We create and contribute to that economy and positively. We don't create law and order issues. We are not somebody who comes into the way. We follow the rules and we are able to also display our capability. Rajivji, so will Indian Americans, this entire talk about being a threat to the working class now, working middle class, is that now going to, hold sway, or will that be defeated soon?
Yeah, but the fact is that the Hispanic vote shifted in favor of Trump this election from all the previous times. The black vote shifted in favor of Trump. So, it means that this old idea that the Democrats look after the minorities and the Republicans are white supremacists is being broken. Now, for the first time in 50 years, the unions, which represent the workers, did not endorse the Democratic candidate. They did not endorse any candidate, which is a big slap in the face for the Democrats, because that was the backbone of their support base, the working class. So now these old things are also being questioned.
Right.
When they are being questioned, there will be people from the old guard, the old right, that are going to get pissed off, and they're going to fight, and they're going to come out with all these But Trump has held strong with his nominees. I mean, one guy dropped out because of sexual harassment and all that. But the other candidates that are controversial, RFK is controversial, his appointment to Homeland Security, his appointment to all these, FBI, many of these appointments are very controversial. Certainly Department of Defense guy is very controversial. But he's holding on to them. He's not easily giving up. So let's see how far he's able to push through his appointments.
True. So Trump is holding on. He's not giving up, Puneet Ahluwalia. Do you believe, you just said that there is this huge event that's planned ahead of President Trump formally being re-elected or swearing in on the 20th of Jan. Do you think all these issues which are now bubbling will be set to rest?
You see, the issues never go away. This is Washington. Till there is no chaos, there is no Washington. So you have to realize that. I think most of the folks will pass through because they're all brilliant people. They are capable people, and they are basically came in because they were loyal to President Trump. And they have the merits, they have the credentials to stand on their 2 feet and pass with flying colors. And most importantly, you have to recognize it's the U.S. Senate which is going to basically give them the clearance. And I guess we will all be proud, even if it's 1 Indian or 10 Indians or as many Indians. I think we are brand ambassadors of our great heritage, great nation where we come from. And most importantly, we have adopted Americanism and we have become proud Americans. And that's the reason why it's just a great honor for us. I think the brand is India and America.
Now, let me ask you this. The Irish took some time, the Jews took some time. Can Indian Americans do the same? The Italians took some time.
We've done it, I think.
Yeah. Or have you already done it?
I think we have done it in record time. And as you were pointing out earlier, not only we just create jobs, we pay taxes, we play by the book, and we play by the rules. And most importantly, we are adding to the bottom line of creating jobs. And most importantly, the importance of being a great partner of the United States. That's the key thing. And that's what is important to the United States when it looks at it. Is India going to be a great, reliable ally to us? At the same time, all the Indian diaspora, which is here, are they stimulating and becoming the part of the American fabric? Because you have to realize this is a nation based on Christian values. It's on Abrahamic faith. And that's the reason when you saw the Abraham Accord put in place by President Trump in 2020, and now you will see the implementation of that Abraham Accord and the other larger goal which President Trump has. You have to realize, do we assimilate with that? And that's the question, and that's the important aspect. The Indian Americans have to realize, how do you really fit into this great nation? Are you becoming part of this greater American dream? And at the same time, taking on the bad actors which are creating the chaos in the world, starting from China, Russia, Iran, and other nations. So we have a very chaotic world at this point, and I believe President Trump is going to put it to rest.
Well, let's hope so.
But we'll do his best. Yeah.
I've got to close, but I'm going to just quickly read off a few numbers as to how the Indian American diaspora is helping this entire MAGA vision, making America great again. 5.1 million Indian Americans representing the Indian diaspora, including those born in Bharat and in the US. The The Indian diaspora makes up only 1.5% of the population, but 45% of this population migrated to the US after 2010, while around 30% moved just before 2000. The population is concentrated in New York State and in California. 72 unicorn startups out of 648 in the US are led by Indian migrants. The collective value of these startups exceeds 195 billion. They employ approximately 55,000 people, 13% of unicorn employees. 60% of all the US hotels are owned by Indian Americans, and they generate approximately $700 billion in revenue and create more than 4 million jobs directly and indirectly annually. 35 to 50% of all convenience stores in the US owned by Indian Americans, generating revenues of $350 to $490 billion in revenue each year. $300 billion is contributed in tax revenues by Indian Americans, top of the 370 to 460 billion in annual spending, which translates into a major economic wave in terms of sales tax, business growth, and support of employment. 35 out of the top 50 colleges in the US have Indian American in leadership ranks. 28 out of the 34 Scripps Spelling Bee winners were of Indian origin since 2000. $3 billion donated by Indian Americans to US universities since 2008. 1.5 to 2 billion annually is contributed by Indian Americans to charity. Now the numbers speak for themselves, beyond the narrative set. That's it on this edition of The Right Stand.
Dr. Manmohan Singh was the most